Okay. Good morning, all. Now we are going to see safety consideration in equipment operation in detail. Okay. First and foremost thing while operating any machine is safety. Safety of the operating person as well as safety of the co-workers. So before operating any machine, the operator has to has sufficient knowledge regarding how the machine is going to perform without any problem. So it is essential for the project engineer to monitor the working operation of an equipment in the particular site. And why, which is why, because unsafe job site leads to injuries and sometimes leads to death. So to avoid unwanted problems, it is essential to train the labor for particular period of time. And nearly 20% of the worker in the construction sector is injured because lack of proper knowledge. And these injuries were not reported to the higher level of management. Because if they are saying such explanation to the management, they'll be deciding that these people are not fit for the job. And for the next projects, these people will not be called for, and automatically it will lead to unemployability. So this is the reason why people are not reporting the most of the accidents at the site to the higher level or top level managements. And next comes the equipment budgeting and financial management. Another important role of the project engineer is budgeting for machineries. They want low cost machine to do the operation so that the cost of construction will be in control. If the project engineer fails to do so, then finally he or she is not fit for the job and they'll be fired from the organization. So budgeting and financial management for equipment is quite important. Then next comes the types and types of cost involved in equipments. First one is acquisition costs. Most of the cost spent by the construction company is for buying machines so that the work will be automated with very low manpower. Based on the company of the machines, the cost will vary. There comes a difficult situation or a decision making situation. So what type of machine has to be buy and from which company it has to be buy. So we have to compare the specifications of machines as well as with the suppliers, and based on that decision has to be made. And next comes the operating cost. Another important thing is operation cost. Says for example, for doing any activity, how much amount of money is involved, and at the same time, mm, how much amount of money is involved, and the same has to be compared with other sources also. So based on the comparison, we may be knowing that how this mission is going to be performed for the particular project or not, so that we can able to predict what is the cost for the particular activity for employing for a particular mission. And next comes the depreciation. Depreciation represents after a particular period of time, says for example, after 10 to 15 years of buying any equipment, and after its service period of 10 to 15 years, what will be the cost if the equipment is sold at present? So how many percentage of money is reduced, which is said by the depreciation. And next comes the storage cost, the amount of money spent for building or creating storage area for particular equipment matters here. If you're providing more money for creating any storage area for storing the equipments, then it affects the overall finance of a particular organization. So we have to be look to that whether we are going to buy any machinery. If we are going to buy any machinery, then we have to be properly save the machinery for the upcoming projects. And next comes the insurance. If there is insurance generally means if there is any problem, says for example, if there is any accident is happened to anybody, so if that particular person is filed an application in the insurance agency, then he has the tendency or eligibility to claim the amount from the particular agency. Similarly, in the case of machines, if you filed the insurance in the insurance agency, if something has happened during its performance or during its operation, we can able to claim the amount from the insurance agency either for repairing work or else for the yeah, I mean for new machines, so that loss can be prevented. And next, how to choose the right equipment based on the project need and as well as the requirement in the project. That is, for timely completion of the projects, machineries can be chosen either for buying or else for rental basis. So for that, we have some conditions. Says for example, first condition is evaluation of your site condition. Before that, we have to, yeah, based on the project need, we have to select the equipment, whether to buying or renting. And then second, based on the site condition, we have to choose or we have to decide what kind of equipment you are going to use. Say, for example, in the case of hilly areas, you can't able to use big machineries. Why? Because transportation of big machineries will be impossible in hilly terrains. So that time, you can go for small scale machineries. If you're using small scale machineries, the days required will be obviously higher, but at the same time, you can able to save the money and you can able to continuously work. And next comes the budget. Cost. Cost is one of the most influencing parameter. Based on the project scale and type of equipment, based on the project scale, the type of equipment has to be adapted. Says, for example, if it is a small scale project, we have to choose a small scale equipment so that there will not be any loss. If you are using large scale machineries for doing the operation for a small scale projects, then obviously it will leads to increase in the cost of construction activities. Then comes the resource suppliers. We have to keep in mind that the materials for constructing a building will not be supplied at a single stretch, and it will be supplied based on the requirements. So based on the availability of material, the equipment has to be chosen. If no material is available in the site and unfortunately you have booked a machine, then you are going to pay for the machine without using it. So we have to be careful for that. And next comes the safety management. As we have seen in the previous class, safety plays a major role, and this can be achieved by following safety protocols in the site, so that we can able to avoid accidents at the sites. Meanwhile, we can able to increase the productivity in the job site. We have to follow safety guidelines, which is illustrated by the various local as well as national governmental bodies. By following the guidelines illustrated by the government bodies, the safety for the workers will be ensured. Then comes the insurance again. For both the machines and labors, the insurance can be claimed if there is any accidents and other related problems, so that the company will not be get into trouble. Then comes work satisfaction. Since the construction work is too tedious and found to be one of the complicated job, the workers has to be well trained before they are going to perform any tasks, so that they will have some satisfaction regarding their work at the end of the day or at the end of their project. Okay, thank you.